Well, good morning. This is day 3 of the West Highland Way 2025 with baggage transfer, and today we're heading from Cashel all the way along that notorious north end of Loch Lomond and on to Beinglas Farm. So good morning. Yes, we're on the West Highland Way 2025 with baggage transfer. I've just left my transfer bag outside reception at Cashel Camping. Fingers crossed it'll be okay because it's not secure, which I think, you know, come on Cashel, get a wee hut that we can lock this stuff away in. People spend a lot of money on their gear. Anyway, it was a good wee sight. Had a fantastic shower this morning. I've had breakfast and it's only 7 o'clock. Now normally when I'm not doing baggage transfer I would try to get as far along Loch Lomond side on my day 2 as I possibly can go. Meaning you do normally about a 20-mile day on day 2 without bags. That is if you're doing a 7-day itinerary, and that leaves you a relatively short day to get to Beinglas Farm, giving you time to get up and around those routes and boulders at that section past the Inversnaid Hotel. Now if you take your time it's fine, but yeah, having done it 3 times before I know what's ahead. So yeah, we've made an early start, 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun, as you can see behind us, is just starting to hit the tops of the mountains, and everything's starting to waken up. So I'm going to put my head down, get some miles in and make my way along to the first stop, which will be Salakey, and then hopefully breakfast at Rowerdennan. Well, this is us arriving into the Salakey campsite, which is supposed to be closed, but I can already see there's a few tents. People are being a bit sneaky and using it even although it's closed. Yeah, I know that this one has a combination lock for your gear if you're doing the baggage transfer. This is what I would have chosen to have done, but the new owners haven't quite got it sorted out yet, and they're not taking bookings till the end of April. This would have put me that little bit further along. It's only maybe about 2.5 miles further along from Cashel, but yeah, it would have been handy. Plus the views from this campsite, the camper vans and the caravans get all the good views in Cashel, but the campers along at Salakey, well, they get this view. That's a wee bit better, isn't it? So yeah, we've missed out on that for this year, but yeah, this is one that I can recommend. It's got compost and toilet. It doesn't have a shop. It is basically a wild camping site with toilet, somewhere to wash your dishes and get water. That's it. So if you're looking for something a bit less basic than this, Cashel would be your spot to stop at for your baggage transfer if you're camping. So if you're staying at Salakey, this is where your bags will get left in the secure baggage hold there. This is Drimmen Camping had a similar sort of idea. Cashel, they don't. Your stuff's just dumped out the front of reception. So if you're looking for something a bit more secure, this is where you'd want to be. And then straight across the road from that, you've got your toilets, and at the end there's a wee sink where you can do your dishes and fill up on water. So very basic, but the views from this campsite are so much better than Cashel. If you're at Cashel, they give all the best views to the camper vans and the caravans. So if you're a camper and you want better views, as long as you don't mind it being basic, yeah, Salakey's where you want to be. Now, I'm not knocking Cashel. Cashel was great last night. It's good to have the shop, great to have a shower. The pitches were pretty flat. They had provided picnic tables at the backpacking bit. So yeah, it's whatever you fancy. Right, let's get going. Let's leave Salakey behind and head along to Rowerdenen. Well, that's me. I have made it to Rowerdenen. I'm just outside the Rowerdenen Hotel, which of course is another place that if you're staying with your bags, they'll take your bags in for you. It's taken me, what, about 2 hours to get from Cashel along to here. There are some ups and downs, so you're not travelling at your usual 3 miles an hour like I do. And that's been just 4.6 miles, it's saying, to get from Cashel into Rowerdenen. I was going to stop off and have breakfast, but you know, I had a brioche roll and I've had a packet of crisps and I've had my coffee this morning and I just don't feel the need to stop just yet, so I'm going to keep going and maybe stop for a bite to eat at the Inversnaid Hotel. You can see up ahead of us here Ben Lomond looking splendid in the sunshine. Now just up here is the last of the Scottish water taps that you'll see at the start in Milngavie and also in Drimmen and also in Balmaha, and this is the last one on the trail, so you're not going to be able to get water again until you reach the Inversnaid Hotel. So I'm going to top up here to get me along there, and then I'll top up again at the tap at the Inversnaid. So you'll find it just next to the kind of toilet block at the Rowerdenen car park. So yeah, these Scottish water taps are really useful at the start of the trail. As you get further on, the campsites, the hotels, all have taps that you can use, some of the restaurants as well. So you don't really need to be carrying a heap of water. I've done a video covering water of the West Highland Way. If you're concerned about water, go and check that out. It'll maybe allay some of your fears as to, is the water safe to drink as we travel? Yes, Scottish water's very safe to drink. I know Bear Grylls is going through a process of getting people down in England to put these water filters on their main source tap in their houses. To me, your government should sort that out, but let's not get political. Safe to say, Scottish water is better than English water. So yeah, top up your bottles whenever you stop at a tap, and don't carry too much. You've got enough to carry on your back, unless of course you're doing what I'm doing, which is baggage transfer. I could be carrying a heap of water. Wouldn't make a whole lot of difference to me. But yeah, next tap stop is the Inversnaid Hotel, and that's where I'm going to possibly grab myself a bacon roll and a coffee. So yeah, that'll spur me on for the next few miles. Oh, before we get there, of course there's Ben's Bakes just at the Loch Lomond bunkhouse. Forgot about that. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself some banana and caramel loaf. And Ben, if you're watching, my mouth's watering just at the thought of it. Right, let's get on to Ben's Bakes and hopefully snag ourselves some of his fabulous banana and caramel loaf. So just coming into view on the screen there is the Riverdennan Youth Hostel. Now they'll take your bags, but if you're camping, from what I understand, it's a first come first serve thing. So you might have to take a risk if you want to camp there, but if you're doing baggage transfer, make sure you've got a spot to put your tent so you're not having to walk out to the no camping zone and then walk back to drop your bags. That would be a giant sized pain in the bum. So yeah, we'll get round past the youth hostel and on to my first snack of the morning from the First Honesty box. Yeah, beauty. We've got some banana and caramel loaf. I've even taken 2 bits today. I have been thinking about this for the last half an hour. Fabulous. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy one of these bits just now and then have the next bit along in that northern section of Loch Lomond just to build my spirits. Right, banana loaf time. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Inversnaid before you. Actually, no, wrong way round. This is the point where you need to make a decision. There's the low path, which is a bit more technical, but takes you along the side of the loch, or the high path. Now I've done a video on the pros and cons of both, so if you go and have a look at my 2024 series, if you're considering which path you want to take. I myself am not taking the low road today, I'm taking the high road because I've got 20 miles to do. Now, taking the high route is going to cut off about an hour onto your journey along this section. The bottom bit, as I say, is a wee bit more technical, adds a little bit more distance, a little bit more ups and downs. Is that a bit more interesting? I think so. And there's loads of wild camping spots along the bottom, but say today, because I started in Cashel, I've calculated it's going to be 20 miles today, so I've got enough to put my legs through. So I've decided, let's cut off an hour and we're going to head along the much more straightforward, and some say a little bit boring, high road. So that's me. I'm almost at the point where the low track meets back up with a high track, and I'm just over 9 miles from Cashel at this point. So we're a hop, skip and a jump. We'll be along at Inversnaid. Just had a fabulous conversation with the 3 guys back there who have done something that's on my bucket list. They've done the walk up to Everest Base Camp. Now, one of the chaps said he wouldn't want to go above 5,000 feet again because he said you couldn't sleep at night, headaches, breathlessness. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? So that's me. I've made it to Inversnaid Hotel. That was 12.5 miles we did this morning. I've managed to catch up with the dream team in the background here. My friends from America and Australia, and I've had 2 rolls and sausage with egg, a pint, and of course the obligatory washing down with Irn-Bru. Now I'm reckoning today is going to be a 20 miler. We do have the notorious north end of Loch Lomond still to do, but yeah, the weather's shining, I've got the factor 50 on, and we're making good progress. So I'll speak to you again as we travel a bit further along this section of the track. So up behind me here is Rob Roy's cave. I've passed this loads of times and never been able to find it. I mean, it has got cave literally plastered on the wall up here. Anyway, that's apparently where Rob Roy stayed. If he was wanting to keep it a secret, probably shouldn't have painted cave on the outside, but... So, if you're coming to do this, then if you've watched videos, you'll have seen people going down that really steep, bouldery section. When you get to the bottom of that, you'll see a path going off to your left. Follow that along, and you'll get to Rob Roy's cave. Not for the faint-hearted. You could seriously slip and hurt yourself down there, so if you're not fit and able, I'd maybe give that a buy. But yeah, there we go. Another first on the Red Man Walking channel. If you've watched my other videos, you know this, but this is going to be so much simpler this year with a day pack on. Normally, I struggle to get through here. Ooh. Ah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right. Another wee bit of the trail done. We're now coming up for 14.5 miles done, so we've got about 5.5 miles left. It's a tough 5.5 miles. Although I am starting to see the little island that sits in the middle of the loch, and that for me is usually a sign that I'm getting there. Not too far to go. Right, onwards and upwards. Yeah, we'll not recreate what John did a few years back. I have walked past here so many times and thought, wouldn't it be great to get actually into the loch? It is boiling today, so I have got myself in the water and we're getting the feet wet. Now this would be easy for my other half, who does this every morning, but it fairly takes your breath away. Right, that's certainly going to cool me down for this last part as we head up over the Doonbyre Bothy and on to our final stop for the evening at Ben Glass Farm. Oh, you can smell the fire. Somebody's left their dirty clothes hanging up there. Lovely. I can imagine when the fire's on in here, it's just a little bit on the stuffy side. Well, that's me. I have made it to the end of Loch Lomond yet again. The sun's still shining on our backs. I have to say that extra 4.5 miles that I've added on, above and beyond what I would normally do, it's taken it out of my legs. I am now ready to be in Ben Glass, having a lager shandy, which will be happening in the next hour and a half. So I'm looking forward to that, but yes, just time to stop and take in the views. Oh, with the sun in my eyes, there we are. We've made it to Ben Glass Camping. That has been from Cashel. I had a 1 hour stop at the Inversnaid Hotel to grab a bite of lunch. Outside of that, I have been walking constantly for 9 hours today. Would I choose to do that again? Perhaps not. But yeah, I'm going to go down. I know the baggage transfer here, again, isn't a secure one. I would love to see more of the campsites actually locking away the people's expensive gear. But I've used Ben Glass on every trip because the atmosphere on the site's great. The food's great, the shop's great, the showers are great. Yeah, it's got everything you could ask for, so yes, let's get down, get checked in and go and get the bags from the baggage transfer. Well, for the first time ever, and this is new for the channel, I've left Ben Glass Farm where I know the food is good, and I've nipped across the road to the very creepy, we're not in Hot Room 6, the very creepy Drovers Inn. Come and check this out.
Wi-Fi password is just into the inn, that's with a capital I. Breakfast tomorrow is from 7 until 9. Is it? They're £12.95. I can give you the forms and then you can decide if you like. Yeah, no worries. I'll give you two. You need plus you pay the do to go for it.
This is a lovely room of death. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Well, that's me. I have been across the road to the Drovers. That's a place to be experienced. The American couple I'm walking with, they're staying in room 1 and not in the very haunted room 6. Yeah, if you've never experienced the Drovers, it's worth popping in. It had a bad name for the food a wee while ago, but I have to say the food we had in there tonight was brilliant. I can't fault it. Staff very attentive. Yeah, they brought us everything we needed and the food was a really good standard. So I'm currently sitting in the drying room at Benglass Farm, washing a few things. I definitely need the sun hoodie for tomorrow, and the stuff's in the tumble dryer. So I'm just waiting that to get sorted out, and then I can think about brushing my teeth and going to bed. In the meantime, I'm going to take you outside. Now, where you drop your bags off, and we'll show you this in the morning, is just next door. Let me turn you around so you can see where you're going. So you'll come out of the next door to the restaurant is the camper's kitchen, and just next door to that, yeah, that's not working because it's too dark. I'll let you see that in the morning. Anyway, this has been day 3 of the West Highland Way. Leave a comment and a like. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. And all that remains for me to say from a very sleepy Benglass is go and create your own adventures, and we'll see you on the next one.